All right. It's Saturday, Championship Saturday. I am super excited. This is what we all come to focus in on throughout the fall, right? Let me just start out by some really good news. My alma mater, Mount Union, beat Muhlenberg in OT to go to the semifinals. I think against North Central next weekend. So really excited to see that. Um, So hey, before the game, I just wanted to do something really quick, test out some other different things that I'm working on, and just sort of share it out there. And since there's a championship game, um, I figured what a great time to sort of run through a couple things that I thought came out that are worthy of our attention. So let me switch over and okay, so the first thing I wanted to just touch upon are the All American teams and just make a couple of quick observations. Hopefully, this won't run too long, but yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a sense as who these athletes are, and they deserve recognition. And I know that there are some folks who are quibbling with who gets picked and on what team and who was missed and all that stuff. You know what? I just take it for granted that it's never going to be perfect. And actually, because of that, I figure I was going to do um, my own sort of all-American team. In that I will be in a future episode. I am actually going to put together my team that I would want to go to battle with a roster of 15 or 17. We'll see. And it will be purely based on who I like in each position. So that'll come at a later date. So hopefully you'll be able to check that out. So anyhow, let's start with obviously the first team. You know, I, look, I think you can't go wrong with half these guys. The ones that I have watched and I've seen Drew Van Andel, Calvin Arrow, Blake Aronson, Victor Gallman, and Hector Gomez in the midfield. Holy smokes, right? Like that's some talent. I do want to point out, I guess Herman Giamatti with Amherst. I think is a fantastic ball player. And I would throw in Amir Lukovic at Montclair, who I am totally impressed with, along with Sergio Rivas at Washington. I thought he's another really special player. So first team. So let's go to second team. Second team of the guys that I have seen. I am a Luke Mather fan. Why he's not first team, I don't understand. He could easily be a defender. He could easily be a midfielder. I am a big Josiah Crawford fan from Montclair State. Plays out there on the left and can really school folks. Really impressive player. And then my another top notch, and we'll see him tonight. Augie Durdash. I can never pronounce his name. Apologies for Connecticut College. Washington and Lee, Michael Kutsanzira, I think is again another fantastic ball player. The the one guy I definitely did want to highlight, who I thought super fantastic forward, probably doesn't get the. It seems like the farther west you go, the less attention it sort of attracts, especially on the D3 boards that hopefully you're all registered and enjoying d3soccer.com. Is Will Isaac at Otterbein. Arch enemy of mine when I played, but and actually we beat them for the OAC championship my freshman year. But fantastic forward, just a knack for goal. Okay, and then let's go to the third team. Third team, who do I want to highlight? Ben Brandt, I think, is a fantastic midfielder, really imposing and really gets the tempo of the game. Um, the two guys, again, this is where we could quibble and sort of argue about what teams they've been selected on, but Gustav Eriksson and Peter Olsen from North Park. I mean, these guys were. I mean, they're Division One players as far as I was concerned. They were. They were. I mean, you could see the quality. And actually, the one game I watched, I can't recall who they played. I think Gustav laid off a perfectly weighted ball for a go-ahead goal. Um, and again, just the talent oozing out of that kid and Peter are just amazing. And then I would just throw in Jagger Brooker, Yager, from Ohio Wesleyan. Another, there's a kid who I'm always, it always strikes me as he might not, you might think he's not doing anything for 89 minutes, and then all of a sudden he gets on the end of a ball and is able to do magic. So anyhow, those are the three All American teams. I think I heard a rumor that D3 Soccer does their own All American picks, and then like I said, SimpleCoach Team of the Year will at a later date once I sort it all out. Um, yeah, and I know John Madden does the turkey legs. I got to figure something out to award. So all right, and we're rolling. Okay, so let me just make a couple very, very general comments about the games I watched last night. Now, I'm going to fully confess I didn't watch all 90, all one, whatever it ended up being 115 or whatever it was, 110. Um, but I was going in and out of the games, just sort of just looking at, again, not necessarily focused on players, but just sort of what I thought. Again, this is the big stage for these guys, right? So, I thought, nerves are a big factor in these types of games, and who can remain the most poised and clearly make the fewest amount of mistakes. So, I mean, I just think that there was a lot of cautiousness. It wasn't as free flowing as I thought it would be, especially the Amherst Chicago game where the ball got kicked out of bounds more times than not, and I think the highlight was the how many times we saw a flip throw into the box. So I will say, on the flip to that, there were some great, great goals. I mean, the first one from Connecticut and then Amherst game winner. I mean, to me, the best part about those were just the quality of the technique of getting behind the ball, the position of the body, hips facing the goal, all that stuff, all lined up, and they were just that the Connecticut's first one that pinged off the far post was just no keeper, not even a professional keeper, could have saved that ball. And then I would just say Washington and Lee's goal. I mean, again, another perfectly weighted pass into space that I just thought was, again, I like to see that sort of thing. So, okay, and then I just think in general, I thought it was a game of midfield. Again, Amherst, Chicago, I thought it was Chicago trying to get their midfield going and Amherst just destroying. But I definitely the first game, the Connecticut game, it just wasn't. You could see it was just a battle between the two. Who was going to impose themselves? Was Connecticut going to sort of own the midfield, or was it Washington and Lee? And it almost felt like it was constantly being a tug. It's like a tug of war between the two. So that was actually fun to watch. How do these guys make make plays when it's going like that. So, and then I thought, I always say about defending, a big part of defense is composure and discipline. And I thought all four teams showed long stretches where their defending was just really, really solid. In fact, you look at the goals, right? They can't come from range. They're not, except Washington and Lee's goal was the one-on-one, from that through ball. But, we're talking Connecticut's first was the bomb. The Amherst goal is a volley. This isn't like balls bouncing around. These are to make something happen. You have to sort of strike the ball and get it on frame. And I thought that was really, again, from a defensive standpoint, that was really, really good. I will say Connecticut and Amherst should consider themselves very lucky. Like, Connecticut looked, again, going back to the cautious soccer, I thought Connecticut looked a little, how do I say, I don't want to say out of, again, big stage. So I don't know if it was nerves, they were just being cautious, what have you, but they just didn't look as fluid to me as I'd seen them before. And again, it's sort of, especially when Washington and Lee went up, they almost looked like they didn't know what to do at that point. And I think, again, nerves. And then Amherst, I thought Chicago had to run a play in the second half, and then the OT until the goal. And I thought they had a great opportunity in OT to put it away, except for, great save. But so I would consider, it's always a privilege and there's luck to it to get to the finals. And Connecticut and Amherst should consider themselves lucky because neither of them dominated their game that I thought you would expect for finalists. And then on the flip side, Washington and Lee and Chicago, heads held high. I mean, if we were talking about a Washington and Lee and Chicago final, I think they're legit. They're legit contenders. They're legit. We'll see if they can keep up the sort of the recruiting momentum and bring in the right guys and keep it going. Again, this is my first year really tracking Division III, so but they should definitely go home with their heads held high. And then just like all good games, this games had a lot of quality. There was some drama and there was some controversy, and that's stuff you like to see. Again, I look at this too. Hopefully, people are watching, right, and they're catching this, and they come across a game, and gives them an appreciation of Division III soccer that people think Division I, but there's some great quality soccer, some high performing elite athletes, and they work just as hard. So a great representation of D3 soccer. Okay, so I was thinking about things this afternoon. What was I going to say in this pregame show? And, I walk outside in the evening and I get this beautiful sunset. What is it? Red skies at night, sailor's delight, red skies in the morning, sailor's warning, or something like that. I don't know why I thought about that, but it was beautiful. And I thought, man, what a great way to sort of usher in the evening for this game. And then I thought, man, what would make it what would make it not fun for me? And so this is my list. Take it for what it's worth. And so the first thing is the term nil, as in nil. I don't. That's not I'm gonna see, but I could hear, and I think we should come and recognize that while nil is an English word, It is not a word used in American sports except for soccer, not football, soccer. So anyhow, I'm one of those weirdos that's like, hey, we should just embrace who we are and call it for what it is. It's 0-0 as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind calling out good tackles. Somebody goes in hard for a ball, wins it, or does something good, tackle somebody on a that could be a breakaway. It's a crucial play. I could appreciate that. But the continuous cheering of hard tackles really bothers me, because to me it ends up being the it's a perpetuating reward for playing really hard, and so that's not me, right? I like hard tackles, and I think that anyone who goes into tackle has to go in with conviction and all that sort of thing. But when you're cheering it from the sideline, I don't know. Bothers me. Okay. I hope I don't see screaming for a foul after every challenge. That gets annoying. Like, we get it. And even the ones before, I'm a ref too. So, sometimes getting as simple as getting the whistle to your mouth not fast enough, or you're processing, okay, what do I do? And so you're caught in this moment, and you already have a sideline and everybody's screaming, and a coach is walking around and yelling, what the heck, and wanting a car. That drives me nuts, right? I go back to that too, like, in screaming for yellow cards and red cards. Like, I have never, in playing, coaching, and refereeing, I've never called for or expected a yellow card or a red card. In fact, I've been in games where I said to the ref, don't give a red card because I'd rather us be playing 11v11. I'm that weirdo. So, unless obviously there's a violent tackle, which then it's a different story. But by and large, I'm just more about, hey, can we just play? Can we just get... And I like to win on even terms, not on screaming and yelling and getting a guy a card and getting them tossed and then suddenly, like, that's just not me. I obviously don't want to see injuries, don't want to see guys get hurt. I want to see a great game of soccer, and everybody to go home and be able to walk the next day. Big for me, dignity and loss, class in the win, right? Like, I hope whoever loses, they end up, accepting it, and it is what it is. And then I just hope the winners are classy, right? Shake hands and, do those things. We'll see. The big one for me, I don't want an officiating crew that does not take center that takes center stage. I probably phrased that wrong, but I don't want the referees to be the story. I don't want the referees to be part of the game. Me as a referee, I always say the less I use my whistle, the better it is, right? Like, I'd rather not be that guy. Too many times in all the games that I watched this fall, like, the MVP of the match is the ref, or that's what you would think you would have to award, because they want to be the center of the show. And to me, it's about the 11 guys out there. Or the 22 guys out there that are the center of the show. So, lastly, I hope it doesn't go to penalty kicks. I love the penalty kicks. I'm a big proponent of, hey, resolve the game. Let's do 5-5. I'm okay with that. It's not that I don't oppose it, but I like to see games resolved in this case, 120 minutes. So, yeah. And then finally, ranch dressing with my wings. Who has ranch dressing with their wings? That to me is the ultimate in sacrilege. Blue cheese with my wings. Okay, so here's where we come down to the fun stuff. My prediction for the game. there is little. I'm going to make a confession, and I apologize to those fans of that team. I have real issues, or real. I there's not a lot I like about Amherst, to be quite honest with you. I don't like the way. I don't like the way they are. I was not impressed with how they behaved after their win against Middlebury. Um, um, I think the coach needs some lessons in sort of etiquette, camaraderie, whatever you want to call it, on the sidelines. And again, hooting and hollering from the sidelines is fine, but when you're starting to do it to aggravate the other team, that really bothers me. Conversely, I'm a big fan of Connecticut. Think Coach Burke is fantastic. I think they try to play. I think they try to um, um, do it the right way. I think they have a huge amount of talent that they can bring to bear. But if this is a game of predictions, and you want to know who I think is going to win, I'm going to give it to Amherst. Amherst has one thing that I admire, is they're a destroyer of the game, and they impose themselves by destroying the other team's play. And I'm not sure Connecticut has the wherewithal to deal with their game being destroyed. If Amherst destroys the game like they're capable of doing, and what I think is going to happen, they'll get their couple of goals. And I think it's going to be, they'll get the one that's going to shock Connecticut, and Connecticut's going to be forced to press or get up higher and sort of open up space, and they're going to get caught on one of the counters for the two. And again, I have my preference, but if I'm going to be honest, that's where I'm thinking. So that's it. Really did enjoy this. Hope you guys, it was worthwhile. Hope to see you. Maybe I probably won't do something this afternoon, but maybe tomorrow I'll do a wrap up. I'll try to do a write up. Make sure you check out d3soccer.com, and obviously the D3 boards. Fantastic place there's some great guys, great participants, really with a ton of soccer knowledge and actually football knowledge, a lot more than me. I just sort of go on there and lurk. But yeah, all right. Enjoy the game. We'll talk.